Judge Whitaker was feeling great on a Monday.
I want to commend the state for the efficiency with which the evidence was presented today. Keep it up.
As you know, we were all in a frenzy wondering if Love was replaced, why she wasn't in the courtroom, if Adam Abadi was going to be first chair moving forward. And we may have found out today that that's not the case. It's looking like Miss Love might be back. But before we get into that, yesterday at the end of court, it seemed like Judge Whitaker was very happy with how court proceedings went yesterday and with the job that the state did, specifically, or pacifically, as we should say here, in the absence of Miss Love. Check this out if y'all didn't see it. Yeesh. Judge Whitaker was feeling great on a Monday.
I want to commend the state for the efficiency with which the evidence was presented today. Keep it up.
Oh, oh man. Judge Whitaker is petty. We got to call her new nickname is Judge Petty now. It's official. I could not believe that she said this at the end of court. She was so happy. There's another clip I may end up showing y'all later, but Judge Whitaker was smiling. She had a grin on her face as the state was presenting their case and questioning the officer that was on the stand. But I got to run this back one more time because I was shocked she said this, but it's clear she's not feeling Miss Love at all. Sheesh. Shout out to Judge Petty.
I want to commend the state for the efficiency with which the evidence was presented today. Keep it up.
Dang.
All right, you're welcome. Any matters we need to put on the record before we break for the evening?
We'll try to come to floor agreements.
That would also make things easier. All right, I'll see everybody. I mean, I would say 9, but every time I say 9, there's a bunch of stuff we need to deal with. So should I give it one more try? See y'all. Okay, see y'all at 9 in the morning.
Look at that smile. Hold on, can we pause it there? Oh, Judge Whitaker.
See y'all. Okay, see y'all at 9 in the morning.
Look at that. Look how happy she is. Oh my gosh, this is the greatest day of her life. And then it was ruined because Miss Love is back. So I hate to break it to y'all. Some very, very terrible news. Adrien Love is back in the courtroom. So if you haven't had your coffee, your energy drink, your shot of patience, just prepare for this because it's going to be fun. Here we go.
Good morning, Officer Jones. How are you?
Sergeant, I'm fine.
And thank you for saying that. Where are you a sergeant currently?
I'm assigned to Zone 5, our field investigations team.
With the Atlanta
Moving
Police
the camera.
Department?
Correct.
Jeez.
How long have you been sergeant?
It'll be 3 years in December.
And how long have you been with APD?
Total of 12 years.
February the 13th of 2015, were you working with Atlanta Police Department at that time?
Yes.
What was your position?
I was a police officer assigned to Zone 3 Morning Watch.
As a police officer assigned to Zone 3 Morning Watch, what hours did you work?
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
All right. And on the morning of February the 13th, around 3:56, were you on duty?
Yes.
All right. At that time, did you have an
Dang.
occasion to respond?
She sounds defeated.
To the area of 193 Hendricks Avenue?
Yes.
Does that sound like somebody who just came back from vacation? I don't know. Maybe she's sad she's back. I don't know. Were you there on the day, October 25th?
And what was the reason that you responded?
I responded on behalf of
It's rough out here.
my then lieutenant, Lieutenant Bruce. in reference to shell casings being on the ground near the location.
All right. Now, preceding that shell casings call that you got from Lieutenant Bruce, had there been another call at 193 Hendricks?
I'm not familiar with that, but I believe so.
All right. And when you got to 193 Hendricks, tell the jury what you observed.
Based on my report, because it was quite some time ago, I was able to recover 17 what was identified as 5.56 shell casings and 6 9mm shell casings.
Did you have an occasion, without telling what anyone said, did you have an occasion to speak to any persons on scene?
No, ma'am.
Did you observe any persons on scene?
No, ma'am.
All right. And once you collected those 17 5.56 shell casings and the 6 9mm shell casings, tell the jury how you preserved or collected them.
Once shell casings are collected, they are then turned into our property, which is our annex building.
I should be more specific. When they're collected, are they collected individually and put in a bowl and given to property, or do you do something different with them?
From my knowledge, if I'm doing the collection, we collect them individually or all together, or we contact our crime scene technicians and they come out and collect them.
And in this particular instance, was it you or a crime scene technician that collected the shell casings?
Based on my report, it looks like that I was the one that collected them.
All right. Now, when you collect them, do you put them in yellow envelopes and put anything on the envelopes, or do you something different? Do you do something different?
Normal procedure. That is the procedure. You collect them individually, one shell casing at a time. I don't remember exactly how these particular shell cases were collected, but I believe that I still follow the same procedures that I do with collecting shell cases individually.
And does your procedure involve writing on the individual packet that the shell casing is in the location that you collected them from?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it involve putting your name on the front of the package?
I can't recall if I had to put my name on them or not. I'm being honest, I can't recall.
What time was
He's pulling the little Woody.
Call that preceded your call? Was it earlier in the day, in the night, a few hours before, a few moments before you went out? Do you know?
Prior to this particular call?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you record in your report anything about that location that aided you in knowing what to look for? And if you need to refer to your report, just say, I need to refresh my recollection. Read it to yourself and then let the jury know.
Okay.
We had a good start so far. I don't want to jinx it though. Y'all know how it goes. Anytime
And
I
are you
give,
reading to refresh your memory right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
anytime I give the state a
Okay,
compliment, it
the
goes
report,
left.
I mentioned that there have been previously recent gang-related shootings that.
You remember what I said about reading the report to yourself?
Gotcha.
Refreshing your memory? All right. Is your memory refreshed?
Correct.
All right. So had there been shootings prior to the time that you responded at this location?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And had there been a vehicle found with bullet holes at this location?
Sustained.
Had there been anything else found?
Not that I recall.
Uh-oh.
Was there any vehicles found prior to your getting here that would have aided you in your investigation?
Based on my report, no, ma'am.
All right. Do you know whether or not there were any, and when you say based on your report, if you would look at line, I'm going to approach you with your report 150410718. Without reading to the jury.
Shout out to Balls Deep. Jeez.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
I'm sorry to hear that, Balls
Balls
Deep.
Report that
Yes, ma'am.
you're holding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, other than the gang-related shootings, had there been anything else found that you utilized to aid you in your investigation?
Yes, a vehicle was located with bullet holes.
With what?
A vehicle with bullet holes.
Okay. Now, was there anybody home at the time of the 911 call that preceded yours
No,
based
ma'am.
on your investigation?
No, ma'am.
And was there anyone home at the time you arrived?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Hey,
At
good
the
morning, Jan
time
Jacobs.
of the 911 call that
Thank you.
preceded yours, do you know, based on your investigation, and were you able to learn in order to further your investigation, whether any shell casings were recovered at the time of the 911 call that preceded your arrival?
Objection to the extent that it calls for hearsay.
Overruled.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Do you know, based on your investigation and to the extent that it aided you in your investigation, whether there were any shell casings located during the response to the 911 call that preceded your arrival? Do you understand the question?
You say it proceeded after or before?
The 911 call that preceded, that went before.
So try a different question.
Yes.
Confusing anyway.
Did you find, do you know whether or not anybody before you
Man.
found any shell casings at that location as it related to the call Sergeant Bruce brought you back out on?
And I would object because that calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
Were you aware
Oh, no.
of any other evidence besides the car
Starting
riddled with
already.
bullet holes and the gang-related shootings regarding 193 Hendricks Avenue? Were you aware of anything else that helped you in your investigation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And at the time that you went to that location, did you know whose home that was?
No, ma'am.
Did you know whose relatives those were?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The shell casings that you collected, 5.56 shell casings, describe those type of shell casings to the jury.
They're longer than the average pistol shell casings.
Like this long,
skinnier.
this long.
I would say the second.
Could you
was
hold it
about
up?
this
'Cause I can't
long?
do
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, about this long.
Okay. And you said they're longer than the what?
They're longer than the average pistol shell casings.
All right. And
You said what now?
relatively speaking, the other type, the 9mm type, those are just regular small shell casings?
Yes, ma'am. Those are smaller.
The 5.56 shell casings, do you know what type of gun, based on your training and experience with the Atlanta Police Department, fires that type of ammunition?
Normally AR-15 rifle style firearm.
Y'all
And
saying
did you, at the
Miss Love's
time you
wearing Christmas
responded to the
colors.
scene,
This is Christmas.
observe
I don't
or
want
go
it.
to even, did you even go to the property to
Skip
see
that
whether there
holiday.
were bullet holes at the address you were responding to?
No, ma'am. I don't remember.
Was your only role at the scene to go and collect the shell casings that had been found?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, when you arrived at 193 Hendricks, do you remember what that area looked like? Was there an alleyway near it?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you note in your report an alleyway leading up towards 193 Hendricks?
Yes, ma'am.
And where in relation to that alleyway were the shell casings found?
I will have to refer back to my report.
Would you read it, refresh your memory, and look up after your memory has been refreshed?
Have you ever had a dream that you
Dang, is that somebody breathing on the mic again? What is wrong with these people?
Is your memory refreshed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So where in relation to that alleyway were the shell casings found?
on the
Actually, in the alleyway.
All right. And do you recall how close to the location those shell casings were?
No, ma'am. I do not recall.
Do you have any personal knowledge or personal relationship with a man named Kenneth Copeland?
No.
All right. And do you have any personal relationship with or knowledge of any member of his family?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. That's all that I have.
Any questions by the defense for this
Oh, look at
witness?
Miss Love getting her questioning done. Nice.
Anybody? Nope. All right. Thank you for your time. Call your next witness.
All for a RICO
State
charge.
calls Officer King.
Yep. Blink twice if you refreshed your memory. Yeah. Jeez. I bet Miss Love won't be turning her computer today. I don't know, Mr.
You
Spiffy.
promised
It's looking
they'd
that
be
way.
Passing each other on the way in and the way out.
We'll see.
Before you speak, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you shall give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth,
Shout out to
and
John.
nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated. My seat, please state and state your name for the record.
My name is Officer King, H. King.
And pull that mic really close to your mouth because it needs to be close for us to be able to hear you. Thank you.
H. King, K-I-N-G.
Good morning. Is it still Officer King?
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Officer King. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Officer King, would you please tell the jury where it is that you work as an officer?
Zone 3, Atlanta,
All right. How long have you worked in Zone 3 as an officer?
20 years.
So is it safe to say that on February the 10th of 2015, you were working Zone 3 with the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes, I was.
Now, would you tell the jury what your shift was during that time?
My shift was 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., day watch.
And during that time, did you have an occasion to respond to 193 Hendricks Avenue Southwest?
Yes, I did.
What was the reason that you responded to that location?
The call was the damage to property. A house was shot up.
Yeah, the
Now,
cameraman's
do
a
you
real
remember the
MVP.
time that you responded to that location?
It was around 8 o'clock in the morning.
All right. And when you arrived at the location, did you speak to any occupants of the residence? Without saying anything that anyone said, do you recall speaking to any occupants of the residence?
The female, I believe, the owner of the house.
Was there a Miss Janice Merriweather there?
Yes.
All right. And did you have an occasion, without talking about what she said, did you have an occasion to talk with Miss Merriweather?
Yes.
All right. Now, what did you observe when you got to the house? And if you need to refresh your memory, is that your report you have up there with
No,
you?
I don't have to report it.
Do you need to see your report to refresh your memory?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a copy of your report, and you tell me if you recognize this as your report, the document I'm placing in front of you.
Yes.
And what was the incident number of your report?
The incident number was 150410718.
And again, what time did you respond? Refreshing your memory?
8:09
All right, AM?
a.m. Yes.
All right. And if you would do me a favor, whenever you need to look down and refresh your memory, would you let the jury know I'm refreshing my memory and read it to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, and then after your memory is refreshed, would you just let me know?
Yes.
All right. So what did you see when you got to the location of 193 Hendricks Avenue?
I remember pulling up in front of the house. I think the female, either she was outside or she came up to me and I asked her what happened.
Now, when she came up to you, describe for the jury whether she was from what you could observe, whether she was calm, upset, frantic, what was her disposition? Concerned?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Who she was.
Was this young lady an older
Jeez.
young lady like myself, or was she a younger?
Yeah, older.
Okay. Now, after you met with Miss Merriweather, what did you do?
I just asked her what happened, what did she see, and she told me the situation.
All right. And what did you do after she told you the situation?
I believe we went inside the house to see what was going on.
She got
and the
checked.
damage.
And what did you see inside?
That's
the
what
house?
happened.
There were defects on the outside of the house.
Okay. Do you recall how many defects?
No, I do not.
And do you indicate in your report anything relating to where it is that you saw the defects? If you need to refresh your memory, let me know now.
No, it was on the outside of the house.
Okay. Now, did you go inside the house and see any damage to other items, cabinets, bedrooms, walls, anything like that?
I remember a flat screen TV was damaged, and there was some in the kitchen area. But
And in your report, do you document any other areas? Do you need to refresh your memory?
I need to refresh my memory.
All right, go right ahead.
Yeah, Miss Love got cooked over the weekend. Not only by us here on this channel either.
All right.
Sorry, Miss Love.
Now, has your memory been refreshed?
Yes.
All right. Do you, at the time that you go to the residence, do you see or observe any damage on the inside of the residence?
The walls.
Nobody knows why she left.
In the bedroom, hallway,
Okay.
in the kitchen area. If I'm,
Now, did you call or did a crime scene technician come out and process the scene?
I did call, yes.
Who did you call?
Not long.
It was ID Tech Charleston came. 7333 was his number.
Now, Miss Merriweather, did she have a son by the name of Kenneth Hurst who lived next door?
Leading question.
Sustained.
Did you document or did you recall whether Miss Merriweather had a son?
Yes, there was a son on scene.
Oh, who was that person on
I
scene?
need to refresh.
When you refresh, just look up and tell me I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Who was the person that you talked to?
Kenneth Hurst.
All right. And did Kenneth Hurst give you a description of any vehicles that may have been involved?
He stated that a neighbor told.
Hearsay.
Sustained.
Based
That's
on
hearsay.
the
Shout out to Sean
conversation
P.
that
Thank
you
you.
had with Ms. Hurst, Mr. Hurst, and Ms. Merriweather, did you get any information to aid in your investigation about who or what happened
Yes.
when her house was shot up?
He stated to me that a neighbor.
Without stating to you what he said, did you go? Were you on the lookout for any particular vehicles after that?
We were on the lookout for.
Sustained.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, once you call ID Tech Charleston, did
sorry.
you stay and watch ID
this is
Tech
tough.
Charleston collect the evidence that was collected?
Yes, he stated
sorry.
he collected one.
Okay.
Shell casings.
Jeez.
And so did ID Tech Charleston also collect a projectile from the kitchen?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the leading question.
Sustained.
Was there anything else that was collected?
That
Boy.
the shell casing he did recover was from the kitchen.
All right. After you came and responded to the scene, did you do anything else as related to this particular incident ending in
Shout out to T, but it's
718.
definitely just you.
No.
All right. Now, had you
Uh-oh. No, we shouldn't be
no.
buffering
all right.
already.
Now, had you responded to this incident location anytime prior to that?
Not
date?
to my knowledge, no.
And did you respond to that incident?
Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm going to refresh this feed because it seemed like it was struggling for a second.
Any police after you heard the gunshots that early?
We're going to go backwards a little bit.
You recall how close to the location those shell casings were?
No, ma'am, I do not recall.
Do you have any personal knowledge or personal relationship
Here we go.
with Kenneth Hurst, who lived next door?
Leading question.
Sustained.
Did you document or did you recall whether Miss Merriweather had a son?
Yes, there was a son on scene.
Oh, who was that person on
I
scene?
need to refresh.
When you refresh, just look up and tell me I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we should be good now.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Who was the person that you talked to?
Kenneth Hurst.
All right. And did Kenneth Hurst give you a description of any vehicles that may have been involved?
He stated that a neighbor told.
Hearsay.
Sustained.
Based on the conversation that you had with Ms. Hurst, Mr. Hurst, and Ms. Merriweather, did you get any information to aid in your investigation about who or what happened
Yes.
when her house was shot up?
He stated to me that a neighbor.
Without stating to you what he said, did you go? Were you on the lookout for any particular vehicles after that?
We were on the lookout for.
Sustained.
Okay. All right. Now, once you call ID Tech Charleston,
Yes, this is
did
today.
you stay and watch ID Tech Charleston collect the evidence that was collected?
Yes, he stated he collected one.
Okay.
Shell casings.
All right. And so did ID Tech Charleston also collect a projectile from the kitchen?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the leading question.
Sustained.
Was there anything else that was collected?
That the showcasing he did recover was from the kitchen.
All right. After you came and responded to the scene, did you do anything else as related to this particular incident ending in
Oh, the sound.
0718?
No.
The sound
All right.
is probably
Now,
extra low. My bad, y'all.
Had you responded to this incident location anytime prior to that
Not
date?
to my knowledge, no.
And did you respond to that incident location at any time after that date as
The
it
sound
relates
should be
to
a lot
this
better now.
shooting?
No, I wasn't the beat officer.
Okay. And without saying what anyone told you, did you document in your report the details of, or at least some details of the conversation that you had with Miss Merriweather?
Yes.
You said yes?
yes.
If you need to refresh, go ahead and look at your
Oh,
report.
no, I remember.
Don't say what she said, though.
Don't say what she said. Okay. We did have a conversation as to.
And did you document that conversation in your report?
Yes, I did.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor. We may need to just call him briefly in case something else happens, but for now, that's all that I have for this
All right,
witness.
are there defense questions for this witness?
You have, Ms. Williams, no questions.
No. Okay. So are you asking that he stick around?
Yes, I'm asking
Okay.
that he temporarily.
All
be
right, you're
excused.
excused from the stand, but you're not released, so if you can just stick around until the state lets you know one way or another.
Okay, thank you.